Hi, I'm Jesse with Canine Perspective, and in today's video, we're going to cover what's the difference between reactivity and aggression. So this is a common one that we get from clients when we're doing like consultations and stuff. So reactivity is if the dog is on a leash, lunging and barking. Okay. Now reactivity doesn't mean the dog is aggressive. It can look like an aggressive behavior, but it does not mean the dog is actually threatening to be aggressive. Okay, so like for example, puppies. If you have a puppy, you have them on harness and they're kind of pulling all over the place, and that puppy sees another dog and they want to engage and play. Of course, you're holding your dog back. You're creating frustration because they cannot get to the other dog. They can't engage, so they start barking, maybe even jumping and lunging out of frustration because they're trying to get to the other dog. So they're doing it out of frustration. They're not doing it because they're aggressive. Okay. Now, what can happen, and I've seen this happen, is someone's walking with their puppy, they begin to lunge at another dog or pull or whatever, owner doesn't let them, puppy becomes frustrated, and then they'll ask, like, can my puppy say hi? And then, the other person might say yes. So they bring the puppy over, and as the puppy's approaching, they're just building all this frustration, and once they get to the dog, they'll bite them, okay? And it may not be like a bite with punctures, but they'll bite them. And it's not out of aggression, it's because all that frustration has to go somewhere, okay? So since the target was the other dog in terms of they wanted to engage, when they finally get there, they'll release that frustration in an air snap or even making physical contact just to kind of outlet that stuff, okay? Which is why greeting dogs on a leash, especially on a harness, is not advised because it can escalate things, okay? I've also seen dogs get into a dog fight simply by approaching each other the wrong way, okay? When it comes to aggression, or still staying on the topic of reactivity, let's say we have a dog that's human reactive, but not human aggressive. I have a sleeve that I wear, it's a bite sleeve, and I'll go, and the dog might be lunging and barking at me, and I'll go, because they're putting out threat, right? And I'll touch them with the sleeve, and they'll stop barking, but they won't bite the sleeve, okay? So it's them bluffing, it's them saying like, hey, I'm big and scary, stay away, right? So the sleeve or my suit, my bite suit, allow me to close the gap on these reactive cases to really determine, is the dog willing to follow up with aggression? And to what degree is that dog's aggression? Is it low aggression? Is it, are they piano biting? Are they freaking out? Is it a 10? Are they, biting and shaking and all that stuff? So these tools allow me to continuously put pressure on the dog, make contact with the dog to see what they do. So an aggressive dog will obviously follow up with a bite. And again, we have varying degrees. Sometimes they just air snap and jump away. Other times they might piano bite, which is when they freak out and they just bite repeatedly, but it's not really anything. Or you might get a good bite and release, or you get a bite and a hold, and they'll start to pull and shake. Like we have varying levels of aggression. So then the suit and the bite sleeve allow me to put on contact or put on pressure, make contact, see what happens when I make contact, and then from there evaluate the case. So this is where a lot of trainers don't know how to assess aggression or reactivity, because I've had a lot of cases where the dog was dubbed as aggressive, and I do my exercise, grab the sleeve, touch them, my bite suit, touch them, and you'd be surprised how many times dogs actually don't bite. So then I tell the owner, your dog's not aggressive, your dog's reactive. And they usually get upset because, like, when you mean, like, I've been told several times my dog is aggressive, I go, right, but when I put the dog under stress and close the gap with no exit, right, because we trap them on the leash, the dog's gonna be super heightened, and if there's any thought of aggression, we're gonna see it there, okay? So the difference between reactivity and aggression is simply reactivity is on a leash, or displaying, barking, lunging, projecting threat, or even frustration, right? That doesn't always mean it's gonna be aggressive. Whereas aggression is actually the follow through where the dog will bite and will bite to varying degrees. Okay, so I'm Jesse with Canine Perspective. Thank you for watching.